What's that?
What's What's up, everybody? Steven here, the Horror Freak 85, with tonight's guest, Hal Havins. How are you?
I'm good. It's Havins, man.
Oh, Haven. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Don't
say
be
that.
sorry. It's fine. It looks like Havins. It does. Everybody says it.
Well,
How
my
you
last
doing
name.
today?
I'm great. My last name is Flug, and it starts with a P is silent. I've heard like P Flug, like totally weird stuff. So,
P Plug. That's your rap name, right?
yo, yep, of course, I'm better than Eminem. P Flug. Looks like we got a couple people in, and any welcome to whoever's here. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and type them, and I'll bring them up and relay the messages. So, um, what was I going to say? So, how's your week been? Have you been
My
working on
week has
anything?
been hectic. It's just a hectic time right now. A lot of stuff going on. Yeah. So yeah,
Any?
how busy's good.
Yeah, that's good. Any like projects you're working on now, or just working at
No,
home?
not right now. No, I just I'm on the radio now. I'm a radio host, and
Oh,
that
okay.
generally fills my days.
Okay. So, is it like a talk show, or you play music, or what is it that you
I
do?
both. Every day I'm on from 10 to noon. KVBB 94.5 FM. We do just music, local news, weather. Normal DJ stuff. And then on Fridays I have a blues show from 5 to 7 p.m. on Pacific time.
Okay. So
So
obviously you're a musician. Then do you sing or just play, or what do you do?
I suckily play, and I sing even worse. So it's like it's a good combo, right? Best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's a hobby. Why not? It's fun. So it's something to
Yeah,
do.
exactly. I mean, that's my opinion. I like to play music. I like to play guitar, but I don't like to. I don't like performing music for some reason. I like performing everything else, but
Yeah,
just not music. It's kind of it's kind of a solitary thing for me. It's like meditation, quiet time. Just sit and try to figure something out until you want to break the guitar, and then you move
sit,
on.
sit back and play and just relax. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Like I've done plays and stuff, but I've never done musicals because I can't sing, and I know that. But like I still enjoy doing that and listen to music,
I
and
sing for shit. I've done 17 musicals.
so what's funny, one time, what was it, the Cinderella scene, I was just background and I was dancing with this one girl who was in it, and like when they sing the song, I'm just like lip syncing, and she's like trying not to laugh through the performance and everything. I'm like, yeah. But it was fun though. I enjoy all that stuff,
Hey,
acting.
if it works, it works, man. You just got to get through the performance. That's what matters.
Exactly.
We do, because I teach, and one of the things I teach is you're not always able to bring that perfect performance that you want. The perfect performance is you convince yourself so much that it's real, you just live, and you don't have to worry about anything. But that doesn't always happen. There's all kinds of things that'll happen in your life, or on set, or in a theater that'll take that out of you.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just got to figure out how to get through.
Yeah.
That's just the practical nature of life. If it's your job, you got to get it done.
Yeah, that's
So yeah, don't feel weird if you gotta lip sync a couple notes because you're not there. Fuck it.
exactly. It was fun though. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's like whatever. We're doing our job,
Now the
and
problem is when everybody feels the same way and then nobody's singing.
yeah, that'd be kind of weird. A musical with no singing. Like, wait, what's
You
going
got
on?
all the people in the audience turning up their hearing aids. What? What are they doing? Their mouths are moving, but
That's
yeah,
funny.
that's
Steven's here. He said, "Hi, Hal. I honestly love Night of the Demons. I usually catch it every time it's on Tubi and other streaming platforms."
well. Thank you, Stephen. That's very nice of you to say. I appreciate it.
All right, and it looks like Terry's here, who did Harlow's Haunt that he directed and wrote. Hello. Um,
Yeah,
so
we actually we put up a poster for him so people would know it was out there. Get ready to go get it.
yeah, I think he's working on a sequel for it, so that should be good. It is really good. People need to check it out. So if anyone who hasn't, but he's been on the show in the past, and we talked about
Yeah.
it. But
I
good
haven't
stuff.
had the chance to see it, but I'm hoping to.
Hmm. Yeah, it turned out pretty good. I liked it.
Very
Um,
cool.
so if you want to tell us a little about yourself, like where did you grow up?
Ah, okay. Well, normally you don't do the bio thing.
Oh, okay.
I
Well, I
grew up
mean,
in
guys.
I grew up in Southern California,
Hmm.
a little town probably nobody knows called Rialto. which is in San Bernardino County. It was nothing but orange groves and vineyards when I was growing up. And I lived in Vegas for a little while when I was a kid. Lived in Arkansas for a little while when I was a kid, but always came back to Rialto. That was our place.
Nice. And like, what kind of movies and TV shows did you watch growing up? Was there any certain actor that inspired you to start acting, or is that something you were always interested in?
No, I've told this story before, but it's always something that I wanted. When I was little, before I went to school, my mom would watch soap operas and talk shows in the afternoon. And back then, in the afternoon talk shows, they would always have stand-up comedians. Mm-hmm. So I would watch these soap operas and these stand-ups, and I would try to memorize the scene or the act. And then I'd run into the bathroom, and I would do it in the mirror. I'd play it. But the problem was I was too short. I couldn't see myself in the mirror because I was too young. And I say this all the time. I still remember vividly the day that I grew tall enough to see the top of my hair in the bottom of the mirror. And it was like that was like a seminal moment for me, I never thought about dragging in a step and standing on it. I would just face the mirror, and sooner or later, I got tall enough.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's what I did. I always wanted it. Always.
Yeah, I think I remember like always acting out movies or saying lines and memorizing stuff, and it's just like it's just like an instinct or passion or something that you like that you want to do. I guess
exactly. And I've kind of developed a theory because I've been around artists for basically my whole life, and I've developed this theory that a lot of people say you have natural talent, and I don't think it is. I don't think anybody has natural talent. I think what it is when you're young, you become possessed by something. For me, it was acting. For other people, it's music, and that's where you put your mind. That's what you think about. That's what you listen to extra hard. And so by the time you start trying to do it, you've already educated yourself for years. And so you walk in more prepared than somebody who just goes, I think I want to play music, or I want to act, or I want to whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think those are the people that we always say, they have natural talent. It's not that they have natural talent. They've already been working at it. Mm-hmm. And maybe not in an organized, structural way, but they have been. And I really think that's what it is. Because I know, they used to say that about me when I was young, and I know I had no more talent than anybody else. None. I just paid more attention. I put in more time. That was it. That's the way I got the little amount of success that I did, was I just put more time into it than anybody else. It's Muhammad Ali, they were doing a documentary on him once, and the documentarians wanted to go shoot him doing his road work, and he says, all right, we'll be here at 4:30 in the morning. And he said, why do you run at 4:30 in the morning? And he said, because my opponents are asleep at 4:30 in the morning. And that's what it is. If there's nothing to success like putting in more time. That and not quitting. Those are the two tools.
Yeah.
Anyway, sermon's over.
Definitely, no. I agree, though. Put in the work to it, and just do what you got to do.
Exactly.
Stephen said, "I've yet to meet Michelle Bauer and George Buck Flower, so I was curious what they were like."
Well, Michelle was awesome. She was great. I had to turn down a date of tacos and champagne with her, which was, still hurts my heart because she was so sweet. But George was a character and a half. George was exactly like you see him in films. He was no different. He passed away quite a while ago now. But he was just a wacky old dude, And he was smart. He always played these goofy guys, but he was actually smart. He was a producer. Most people didn't realize that. He did pre-production for major companies. And he's just hysterical, He was always in the bottle. And he was absolutely funnier than shit. I just loved George. He was great. I met him long before I ever did a film with him. I met him like 3 years probably before we worked together. And because he was doing production, he was doing pre-production on something I was working on. I don't remember. But that's how I bumped into him.
Nice. Let's see. Mr. Bones is here. Stooge party.
All right, let's party, Mr. Bones. Bones. He said bones.
He said, "Bone." Was like Beavis and Butthead. He said, "Bone."
Yeah, that's what I
Get out
said.
the cockpit. Did you do any community theater or acting classes through school?
Oh yeah, I studied, and I started studying later. I started when I was 16 in high school, and then of course I did plays. I did maybe, I don't know, over 50 plays, and I love theater. Theater is the pinnacle of what we do. Film and television is not the pinnacle of an actor's craft. The pinnacle of an actor's craft is walking on a stage and walking off an hour and a half later. That's hard work right there. And we've been talking about doing a play recently. I've been asked by a couple of groups to get involved in. I don't know if I can do it anymore. It's been so long, I mean, when you're in film and television, you kind of specialize in working in 3-minute snatches. That's it. You work for 3 minutes, and then you prepare for the next 3 minutes. You know what I mean? And you don't get to do that when you're on stage. When you're on stage, man, it's all out. It's everything you've got for an hour and a half. And I don't know. I mean, I want to do it, but I'm not sure I can actually do it anymore. I don't know if I have the energy for it or the focus. It takes practice to have that kind of focus. But yeah, I did all kinds of plays, dramas, comedy, Shakespeare, just like anything I could get into, I was doing. If not, I was working production. I was working backstage, and I've always had the same attitude. I just want to be involved.
Yeah.
I want to make product. I'd rather be acting. That's my dream. That's my love.
Yeah.
But I'll do anything because I love the medium. I love making product. I'll see stuff all the time. There's something I saw just recently. It was a horror film on DVD, and I was watching the special, features. And I heard this voice interviewing the lead actress. And I was like, wait a minute. And this is a while back. I went and got my wife, and I said, baby, is that voice familiar to you? And she's like, that's you. And I'd forgotten completely about it, that I did her interview, and I taped her for her audition. And but yeah, it's just like I just do stuff because I want to be involved. I want to work. I love this stuff. I love the people that make it. Never really had a bad experience. I've had one bad experience, and God, how long have I been doing this? So it's been it's been a fun ride.
Nice. What is something that you're most proud of that you worked on that you think fans should check out?
Wow, I'm proud of everything. I don't care if it's bad or good. You work just as hard on the stuff you mess up as when you do a good job. But there's a couple characters that come to mind. Actually, there was I did a TV film called Return of Desperado, and I thought I did okay in that. And I did another one, the Morris Dees story. If you know Morris Dees from the Southern Poverty Law Center, they did a biography on him. Starred Corbin Burnson, and I was in that, and I was really happy with what I did there. It's they kind of stick in your head because you're not always happy. You're like, okay, I got through that, but you're never really quite proud of your work. You always can take it apart, and that's just the nature of any kind of art form. Once you do it, like any rehearsal, right? By nature, you're better able to do the next rehearsal or performance or whatever, because every time you do it, you learn something else. Every time you do it, you get a little bit better, And so it never stops. You're always growing, right? You just, when they say cut, well, you don't get another chance. It's done, But yeah, those are a couple that I thought were okay.
Stephen wants to know, or he says he remembers you from Alf, one of his favorite series growing up.
Alf was awesome, man. That was a lot of fun. Yeah,
So,
I don't really have a story about Alf. It was, did a couple episodes. I was a cop. If I remember, Alf was barricaded in a house somewhere, and we were trying to get him out of the house. There was a great line in it Alf had. He said, "You'll never take me alive, coppers." And then he stopped and goes, "That's the stupidest threat I ever heard." And when you think about it, it is kind of, yeah, that's not your best move, is it?
Yeah, he was always trying to eat the cat, so I'm assuming the cats were away on the set.
That's right, trying to eat cats. Man.
He had to eat those cats.
That's a fun show to do, and people love it. There's a funny story about that. I did a convention once. I was the only actor there. It was a weed convention, and like nobody was talking to me. Nobody. I was just like, "What the hell am I doing here? This is insane." And then all of a sudden, somebody walked up and goes, "You were an Alf." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I was an Alf. Alf was fun, yeah." And then the next thing I know, there's a huge crowd because apparently stoners love Alf. So once they realized that I was an Alf, I was okay. I wasn't some strange weird guy.
Probably should have just.
Huh?
Probably should have just had an Alf poster with you or something. Be like, "Oh,
I should have. Next time I'll wear the T-shirt, right?
I was unaware that stoners liked Alf, but hey, I guess it's that kind of.
I didn't know either, but they do. Apparently, that was the only thing that got me through the day, man. I tell you.
I'm surprised they weren't into like horror or anything else. Just Alf. Just okay. Let's see, Echoes
Sorry about
here.
that. I was moving my dog. Come
on. You're fine. Let's see.
Okay.
Echoes here. Echoes here. Hello. He said Alf is also one of his favorites.
Awesome, Echo. I'm glad you like it.
So since you were mentioning conventions, any other interesting convention stories or any upcoming ones also?
Got a few upcoming. We're going to be a bunch of us from Demons. We're all represented by the same manager, so we're going to be doing New Jersey HorrorCon in August 9th, 10th, and 11th, and let's see if I can remember the others. Marlborough, Massachusetts, in August as well, and then Ohio in August as well, and then Marlborough, Massachusetts in September.
Okay.
But, yeah, I should have probably written that stuff down. Yeah, Ohio is basically Cleveland. It's right on the edge of Cleveland, and so yeah, hoping to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That would be cool. But
nice.
Yeah, so we're gonna be doing 3 shows this year, and then maybe looks like there's 2 more in October, but I don't know what they are.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty much convention season. I've been going to conventions for years. So much fun, Besides,
well, for me anyway, it's October, right? Because nobody wants to look at me until it's Halloween anyway. So
it's like get your stooge face on. You big face.
Yeah, that's where it works for me. Hey, I do have the noses. Don't tempt me.
Well, hey, that could be your photo op, a stooge photo op. There you go.
I do the costume photo op.
Okay, so yeah. I know some people do and some just regular, but yeah, the costume photo ops are always fun.
Actually, generally you do both. They offer both.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's always fun. Usually it's just people come to the table, you talk for a while, take pictures. That's the part I enjoy. The photo ops are too quick. I don't enjoy it.
Oh, okay. He's asked. That was for me, not you. Asking about when you said the Stooge party. He wants to upload it on his channel, like a clip of it. Yeah, it's cool. That's fine. I don't mind. Enjoy that. Party, Stooge. Yeah.
But yeah, the photo ops are too fast. They hustle people in so fast that you can't talk to them. You can't, enjoy their company. That's the best thing about the conventions is you get to meet people and make friends. Talk to people, enjoy them.
Yep. Photo ops, you just say one word, hot. Click by. I mean, I understand they got to get people through, but at least a couple sentences maybe or something. I mean, it doesn't have to be a whole conversation.
Exactly. It's a little too quick. And with me, there's a little less pressure because it's, I don't have, 100 people in line. But still, it's just too fast to really kind of try to connect it. I always have the same goal when I meet people at a convention. Is like, I want them to know that I care and I want to make them laugh. And if I can do those 2 things, then I'm good. Then I feel like we had a good talk, But that's the same thing I do in life, If I can't make you laugh and make you think I'm actually paying attention to what you're talking about, I failed in our meeting. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like you try to be decent and enjoy people anyway. You know, it's like that's all. Anyway, I don't even know if that made sense, but what the fuck, I said it, so stop.
Conventions are great though. That's the point though, meeting people and having
Yeah,
fun. I mean,
but that's the thing. It's just as fun for us. You know,
yeah.
it's like I don't get treated that good at home. I come home and I still got to take out the garbage and clean up after the dog. You know what I'm saying? It's like you
The
go to a
convention,
convention, the only people that talk to you like you.
yeah. Uh, what surprises me sometimes, like not always, but every now and then, there's like really great guests, and there's like no one at their table, and sometimes I get like 20, like I can just hang out at a table sometimes, and then people come up and like I'll move and let other people meet. I don't just like stay there for hours. I mean, I don't really like people taking too much time. I mean, I
Yeah,
know everybody's there to meet everybody, but you gotta condense, make sure everybody gets their chance and all. And
yeah, yeah,
but it's usually fine. I mean, I haven't really had many problems at conventions. I mean, they usually run smooth and everybody enjoys their time. And
yeah. Well, the thing is, the crowd ebbs and flows, right? You'll have a bunch of people, and you'll be like, oh man, I got to kind of hustle up. There's a lot of people at the table, and then there'll be nobody for a while.
yeah,
So usually in those breaks, there's somebody that stops and just talks to you, and they just want to talk and connect. And they're usually always cool, As soon as somebody comes up behind them, they're like, all right, well, thanks for your time.
yeah,
But
exactly.
I mean, that's the whole point. Is you're there to talk to people anyway. So if you can give them 5 minutes or 20 minutes, you do it.
Yeah.
Usually you don't have 20 minutes, but you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, that's true. But either way, whatever time is always a good
Yeah.
time. So. What was your first professional job in television or movies?
The first shit, I don't know. I have no idea. Um, where's IMDb when you need it?
Hey, Steven, you want to look that? He's like our knowledge person. He always looks stuff up, or if we have questions.
Well, you know what? Let's go with the first time somebody paid me to be on camera. It was an extra job on a TV movie called The Contender, starring Mark Singer. And he played a boxer.
Nice.
And I think I got this is a long time ago. I think like $40, $70, something like that, just to sit in the crowd. So I guess technically that's it. They shot it like just up the block from my college. So I rolled over there to make some extra money. But I think the first acting job I had was maybe it was WizKids.
Oh, I think that might be it. When I was like going through the list earlier, that sounds familiar. I think it was.
I think it might have been WizKids. I did a couple episodes where I was the tough guy at the school, picking on Matthew. Yeah, I think that was probably it. But there's no guarantees, so don't call me a liar if you find out I'm wrong.
You're like,
that was a long time ago.
Let's see. Oh, Mr. Bones was talking about Mark Singer, Beastmaster. Yeah, that was a good one, Beastmaster.
Yeah, Beastmaster, exactly.
So, did you get a chance to meet him at all, or you were just on extra? And...
No. I mean, he was there, but we were separated by distance because he was shooting in the ring the whole time. It was a fight scene.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
It's a good experience. I always try to get my students to go do extra work because it's a good way to kind of learn how the set works, how it flows, what you do, what you don't do, rules. It's a little different for an extra than it is for a principal actor, but not all that much different, to tell you the truth. So I always try to get them to do something. And also, too, especially nowadays, it pays well. I mean, you can live. I had a student that for maybe 12 years made his living and his health insurance through SAG with extra work only. He never did a principal job. And so I mean, it pays pretty well now.
Mm-hmm. I think it would probably, if you're with SAG, it would probably pay more than just like being an extra once you get into SAG, I assume, right?
No, yeah, if you're a non-union extra, it doesn't pay all that much. And and let's face it, it doesn't pay all that much if you're a union extra, but
Mhm.
it's it beats flipping burgers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I was an extra and never back down, I was just there like 2 or 3 days. I think three, and I got paid $500. Which heck, I mean, for 3 days of seeing people on set, it's
That's not bad. That's like that's a full week for most people, right?
yeah,
So I don't know. I actually have no idea how much people make.
sure, 500 a week, yeah, whatever. five hundred
I don't.
dollars a day.
I seriously don't remember the last time I had a job. So yeah.
uh, let's see what is it? Echo said. Whiz Kid, Mr. Bones. What is that? On. Oh, I guess he was talking about Witch Trap and Sorority Babes and Slime Ball Rama. I think that's what that NTO
Yeah, those are
is.
fun. You know, Linnea actually got me sorority babes at Slime Ball Bowler. She she mentioned me to Dave Dakota, who's the director, and it was easy. I just went over there, had lunch with him, talked to him for a minute, and they're like, "Hey, you want to be in the movie?" I was like, "Okay," but that was really based on Linnea's recommendation.
He meant Night of the Demons. Duh. Okay. I was like, no
What did
T.
you say?
He meant Night of the Demons. Like he just did an abbreviation. I didn't know what that NOTD was. I
Oh
wasn't.
yeah,
Duh. Hello. What else were you there? All right. He also says that he loved the slime ball, like a mini Night of the Demons reunion. Yeah, that's true. There were a couple of you in there. When you got the script for Night of the Demons, what was your first thought on it, and how do you prepare to get into your characters and memorize lines?
well, how you prepare to get in characters? That's that I could explain that for a lifetime. In fact, I have for the last like 40 years. I've been teaching that. Um, it's really about. I mean, character and script are two different things, right?
Yeah,
Character is who you are, and those are you get your cues from the script, and then you kind of try to make it up outside of the script. You kind of try to create this person outside of the script, and that's character work, and that's all about movement and voice and syntax. But then script work it's really a simple process. It's hard to explain. I always one of the first lessons when I have a new class is I can teach you to act in 5 minutes. Now it's like golf. You can learn really quickly. Golf is what? You take a stick and a ball, you hit the ball with the stick, you knock it into a hole, you do that 18 times and you have lunch. That's golf. But you spend the rest of your life trying to perfect it, right? And it's the same thing with the acting. The principle of acting is pretty simple, but you spend your entire life trying to get good at it. And you never do. Because, like I said before, by nature, every time you do it, you're better able to do it the next time. So you're always growing, right? So you never achieve your best. It's not possible. You can only be your best at that moment, you know? But the main thing with working on a script is don't memorize. Memorization kills the performance, right? So you connect. You basically this is all right. Here we go. I'll just be honest. You build an emotional chain, right? And that emotional chain goes from moment to moment, and it's cued off the script, right? And if you can build that chain strong enough that the emotion and the next line are so linked together, one doesn't work without the other, right? You can't experience that emotion without saying those words. And you can't say those words without experiencing that emotion. And you build a chain like that, it goes all the way through your script. You never memorize. Never. Because you don't have to. Once you build that emotional chain and those words are attached to it, it just happens, right? And the reason this is so easy to do or so convenient to do is because, especially in film and television, you get rewrites every morning. And then you just say, I use the term, what am I saying? Meaning, what am I saying emotionally, right? If they change the line, I just ask myself, what am I saying now? It doesn't matter because each moment is a moment unto itself. So each moment stands alone by itself. They're all contingent upon each other, right? They all live together, but they stand by themselves. So you just go from moment to moment to moment. You just flow. And once that emotional chain is built and those connections are made, you don't think. It just happens. And it's hard to, it's easy to explain it. It's just hard to do it. It takes a lot of practice. But once you have it, it never leaves you as an actor. Once you have this technique built. And really, it's just a kind of a slight modification on Stanislavski's traditional work. If you know Stanislavski, he's the father of modern acting. And once I found his work, it kind of cracked everything open for me, and that's the way I do it.
All right. While working with anyone, doesn't matter whether it was a show or a movie, is there any actor or actress that gave you any advice that stuck with you?
No, I don't think I've ever gotten advice from any actor. I really don't. Oh, I got bad advice from an actor once. Burt Young told me to tell the director to fuck off.
Yeah, that's probably some bad advice. Oh no, people tell them what they want all the time.
He like just leans over to me. He's like, I won't be taking this kind of shit. I'd tell him to fuck off. I said, yeah, well, you did 3 Rockies, man. Leave me alone.
I'm new to it's like, yeah, you worked with them.
Yeah, no, I never really got advice from actors. I actually, in all honesty, I don't socialize a lot when I'm on set because I'm focused on working. You know what I mean? So I'm not one of those that goes around, sits around, and has coffee all day and jabbers, and then tries to find it when I walk onto the set. I'm generally try to be prepared when I get there. And especially because I'm rarely the star. I'm usually supporting the star. So you got to be there. You have to bring it so the star can do their work and be the star. That's just the function of a co-star or a guest starring actor. But yeah, but I've had a lot of great times with actors. I just generally we don't talk about acting. Terrence Howard taught me all about shark cartilage and cancer. That was interesting. But generally, we talk about that kind of stuff. Whatever's interesting you in life, that's what comes up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Since you were also saying about like how televisions and can have rewrites and all that, and movies, and I know mostly people follow the script, but is there any times, whether Night of the Demons or any other movie, that you were able to improv any lines that stuck in the movie?
Most of the films I've done, yeah, I've gotten to improv. Um, some television, but television scripts are really tight, so you usually don't have a lot of opportunity to improv.
Mhm.
But yeah, Stooges eat a bowl line was an improv line. It wasn't mine. I just added it in. It's actually something that John Belushi said. And I was reading his biography at the time, so I came in and I was like, Kevin, I got to say this somewhere. Can I just say this? And Kevin was like, yeah, go ahead, man. Enjoy. I was like, where can I say it? He says, I don't care. Anywhere. Just slip it in. And luckily, I think it was that day, might have been the next day, we shot that entry scene, and it was just perfect for it. So, but yeah, there's a lot of improv that goes on when you get. In fact, Sorority Babes. I don't know if anybody even knows Sorority Babes. At one point, people knew it, but I don't know if they remember it. But there is a scene where I was the fat frat boy. You know what I mean? And there's a scene where I get my dream. This little genie imp gives us, all our. It's like the monkey's paw. You get your wish, but it curses you.
Yeah.
And I got a big pile of gold. And instead of saying, I was going to buy hookers and weed, I said I was going to get my hair and nails done.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was funny as hell.
Yeah, I was rewatching, watching again since it's been a while since I watched it. I remember that, and that little demon, or not a demon. What is it called?
Imp.
Imp. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, little imp giving the wishes.
So I run up, grab this gold, and I'm like, I'm gonna get my hairs done and my nails done. It's all gonna be, and I just thought it was weird. I thought it was like something he wouldn't do, that you would think he wouldn't do, but then his secret desire is to spruce up or whatever, you know.
There's a
All
little
that
curse.
happened was Dave Dakota, the director, walked by me after, and he goes, "Hair and nails? What the fuck?" And walked away. But he couldn't reshoot it because he didn't have any time. So I won.
Get a pedicure, a massage, and a facial.
That was my whole thing. It was like definitely something he would not do. You know what I mean? He'd go buy a Camaro and a hooker.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you just kind of exposing a little bit of character trait, you know? But anyway.
It's like that's the curse of it. It brings out his inner thoughts that he doesn't want to share.
But that was the best part when he walks up and just hair and nails.
That was funny. And Night of the Demons, I like that one line when she was taking stooge, and he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Well, I feel like what was it, pork tonight?" Or she goes, "I'm in the mood for pork."
Oh yeah, in the mood for pork tonight. Yeah,
pork tonight. So obviously you've been killed in movies. Is there any way that you haven't been killed that you might find an interesting way to die?
I'd like to die of natural causes.
Yeah, just survive the movie.
Maybe be that nice old grandpa that lays down and doesn't wake up in the morning, and everybody, cries around his bedside and gives him a nice funeral. That'd be cool. But no, I end up with my head getting ripped off by a bowling ball machine and that kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I still say I'm the only person that ever had their tongue bit off twice on camera. I don't think anybody else has ever done it.
Oh, that's the record. Which two was it? I'm trying to remember.
It's not much of it. It's not much of a distinction, but it's mine. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I've died pretty much every way you usually die in film. I wouldn't mind one of those Final Destination deaths. They're always fancy.
Yeah,
cool.
Those are crazy. Like I heard,
I love those films.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, I know they're kind of a gimmick film, but I can watch them all day. I just love those things. They're just in. What was her name that always lived through all of them? Laura. Her last name starts with an L.
Oh,
Ali Larder. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was awesome in those things. I mean, she was really a good actor. She probably still is.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's still working. But yeah, she carried those things. I don't know. She did like 3 of them, I think.
There's 5 of them, and they're coming out with.
Yeah, I know there's 5 of them, but I think she did 3. Maybe she.
Oh yeah, she did 3 of them. Yeah, she was in 3 of them, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, she was great. She did a lot of good work. Obviously, I'm a fan of actors. Like I said earlier, I love this business and I love the people in it. We were talking about it last night. I was talking about it with my manager. It's like I become obsessed with actors. Maybe they're famous, maybe they're not famous. I don't know, but I'll see them do something that I think is brilliant, and then I have to watch everything I can find.
With that person,
and like right now, my 2 guys that I'm just nuts for is Jeremy Renner in The Mayor of Kingstown.
I haven't watched that yet.
You don't watch it yet?
I haven't seen it, but I've seen it.
Watch it. Jeremy Renner is bringing Oscar caliber work every week. It's that good, and it's a really strong cast. His supporting cast is fantastic, and he is head and shoulders above them all in every scene. The guy's incredible. And then another one that most people don't think of as being brilliant, but he is Homelander in The Boys. Sorry, I don't know his name.
Anthony something.
Anthony. Yeah, the way the lunacy that comes out of him without trying, that sheer insanity, it's like that is difficult to do. There's not a moment of, it's not contrived at all. He's just nuts, like big time nuts, and he's evil. And then he's got that perfect Mr. America smile, and it's just like, it's such a great job he's doing. It really is. So then I'll find that, and then I got to find everything else they've ever done and just obsess on it for a while. Then I'll find the next guy,
Yeah.
But at heart, I'm a fan. I've always have been,
Yeah, when he went on audition, I heard like he didn't really care if he got the part or whatever. So like when he read it, he had that like that type of Homelander attitude, and he was the only one
Yeah,
that had that. And they thought it was like, oh, he'll make a great Homelander because he didn't really like. I don't know
yeah,
if it said his agent had got it for him or he heard about it, but he just did it. But he didn't really care if he got the part or not. And
yeah.
boom, he got Homelander. So
Well, it certainly worked out for him. I'll tell you that. I bet he cares now.
oh yeah,
But that's a good thing. That's kind of a tip for auditions is don't care. Do your work and then walk in there not caring. Because we put so much care and worry into how it's going to turn out for us that it'll destroy your performance. It will. In my opinion is, and this is again, it's what I teach. It's like an audition is a performance. That's what it is, and you perform all the time as an actor. That's what you do. That's what you love. So go in and do a performance. You won't be nervous. You won't be worried about whether you're going to book or not because you're so preoccupied with doing your job. And that's what it comes down to. We've got so many things that get in the way of being an actor. There's so many things. Life in general just gets in your way. Anything that gets in your head gets in your way. So it's like just go in there and do a great performance. And a lot of times that's the attitude you need. I just don't care. I'm just going to go in and knock it out, see how it works. So I'm glad he did it though, because he's really, it's great to see that work at that level. It really is.
Have you finished the last season of The Boys?
I have not yet. I have not, because I was waiting for it to, for the next week. And I started watching from episode 1 again. So I thought, well, I'll just go through it all again.
Yeah. That's what
a fun show. I really like it. It's a lot of great actors. It's a great script. It's weirder than weird, which is always cool. So, yeah.
Yeah, it takes superheroes to a whole new level. It's just all the stuff that goes on. It's like, how did they even think of that? It's just crazy, all the superhero stuff.
It's actually pretty twisted. There's a lot of diseased people in that writer's room. Thank God, because it's a lot of fun. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I won't spoil it, of course, but the way this last season ended, I'm like, oh my God. And we got to wait till next year for season 5. It's like,
no, don't tell me how it ends. Don't tell me.
No.
I've only watched like maybe 3 of this season.
Mm-hmm. So. I heard they're doing a prequel, Vought. I forget what it's called, something Vought, and it's going to be with Soldier Boy and Stormfront.
Okay.
Like the Voughts V. Yeah,
so there is the two evil crazy ones.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more about Noir in that. Well, they did show a little bit of him, but I think that would have been cool to have him. Yeah. Well, actually, he probably will be, because if they do stuff with Soldier Boy, they'll probably have his teammates on there from back then.
Yeah, that's right. Because he had the whole crowd with him. That would be cool. I'd like that. I'm waiting for the new Dexter. Speaking of, coming out with new stuff. They're gonna do a new Dexter, and they've got the one. I guess it's his son. That's
been out. Yeah, that was the one with the son. They did another one more season.
But he's gonna do a new one. I think they're starting next year.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
So that should be cool.
Oh yeah, I like those kind of shows. That's pretty cool.
Anything weird. Anything with good actors, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's like what I always look for. You can, and it's not really true, but it's like you could be the worst director in the world, but if you got Anthony Hopkins in front of the camera, it's going to be worth watching. Mm-hmm. That's not really 100%, but it kind of is.
Yeah, there's certain actors that let's see. Oh, I didn't see this one up above. Sorry to interrupt there. I was just putting what Steve said there. Mark Singer was amazing in V. V was good. The reptile V, the reptile aliens that Mark Singer was in. Steven was just saying.
That's right. He was in V. Yeah.
Yeah, I had missed that comment earlier. Sorry about that. I tried.
Mark Singer's done well. He's done really well. He had a great stage career too. That's really where I think that's where he really did his best work, was on stage.
Yeah.
He did classic show after classic show. He was great. Of course, he also did the California Music Circus He did Taming of the Shrew in a boxing ring. I guess they all can't be home runs. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Somebody out there will get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Let's see. Since you've done movies and TV, is there and stage? Do you have a favorite, and is there any benefits over television or movies?
Uh, Television and film pays better. You know, stage doesn't pay great. It pays good. You know, you make a decent living. The pinnacle of acting is on stage. That's where your art really has to be on point. But you know, I've just because I went and stayed in LA instead of going to New York. I just started specializing in film and television. That's what I started studying. And, you know, it's kind of my home now. It's kind of where I am. It's my performance technique is all kind of geared toward that. And that's why I was saying, you know, one of the reasons I was saying earlier that I've been talking to some people about doing a show again on stage. But, you know, you worry about those things. You know, I've specialized in working in 3-minute snatches. You know, that's it. I do 3 minutes. I prepare to do the next 3 minutes. That's generally about as long as your longest take is going to be 3 minutes. And you usually never do a 3-minute take. It's usually like a minute, minute and a half. So you worry about that stuff. But the pinnacle is stage. But, you know, my home is film and television. My home is being on the set, you know. And that's kind of what I love now. But I like it all. I don't care.
I like it all. It's anything to act and do what you love to do.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like I admit it. I'm easy. I'm a whore, man. I'll be out there. I'll do anything you want. I don't care. You want
I'm an
Shakespeare in the Park? I'll do Shakespeare in the Park. I don't care. I've done it before. In fact, some of the best work you'll ever find is Shakespeare in the Park over with Joe Papp.
Mhm. Yeah, you said you've done some Shakespeare. Which characters did you portray in any Shakespeare play?
Ah, Jesus.
I didn't think Jesus was Shakespeare, but okay, tell us about it. Jesus and Nazareth.
Could have
No.
been. No. Friar Lawrence in Romeo and Juliet. The Taming of the Shrew. Jeez, man. If you're going to quiz me on this stuff, you could at least send me my resume.
Yeah, I should have warned you. Yeah, okay, this is what we're
You know,
doing.
it's kind of a weird thing because in my mind, it's hard to explain. You know how professional gamblers will always say it's one long game. They're either up or down. They didn't lose money or win money. They're just, it's because the game never stops. It's kind of that way with me with acting. It's like it all kinds of flows in my mind. And so used to be all the time, I'd go sit down, you know, and back then everybody had, you know, you had your paper resume and headshot. And you go sit down and audition, and they'd ask you a question about what you've done. And literally there were times I went, oh, let me see my resume real quick. Because I kind of don't remember. Because I don't really look at them as standalone events. You know what I mean? They're all just they're all part of a performance, I guess. I don't really know. But what was the question? What did you ask? I don't remember now.
Well, we were talking about your Shakespeare characters, and then somehow,
Shakespeare.
or your performances, and then you were saying they blend together, or whatever. Which, yeah,
I don't know. I've done 4 or 5 Shakespeare plays, but I can't remember them all right now. I love Shakespeare, and I wanted to play Falstaff. For years, I wanted to play Falstaff, but now I'm kind of thinking I want to do Lear, one of those grand old men, you know.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see. I can't get any, but nobody wants to do Shakespeare anymore. That's a problem. You know, because these 2 theaters that asked me about doing something here, I was like, yeah, great, let's do some Shakespeare. Nope. Why? Nobody goes to Shakespeare. Nobody's ever gone to Shakespeare. That's not why you do it. But yeah.
Okay. So, movies that you've done and shows, or horror movies. Do you prefer practical effects or CGI, or do you think CGI
practical
might
effects are, you know, really cool, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's so much better to just see it happen. And you know, the funny thing about practical effects, they look as good in person as they do on film. It's not like, everything's hidden and it's just only one angle you can see the effect from. If somebody's eyes are getting gouged out, those are eyes getting gouged out. It looks cool. So
Yeah.
practical effects are really, really cool. And but CGI has gotten to a point. It's gotten better and better. Originally it was horrible, and I used to always say, "Why do I want to watch a cartoon? If I want to watch a cartoon, I'll just watch one. I don't need this shark jumping out of the water and doing the ballet or something. I don't."
Mhm.
But it's gotten to the point now that CGI really supports film well. You know, so
Yeah.
I don't complain about CGI the way a lot of people do,
Yeah.
because it's gotten so good. And because of that, you can do things you could never do before. You know, I mean, there's the one that a lot of people complain about. This, a lot of people in film complain about. What happens now is you find your shot and you shoot your shot, and you don't care if there's a truck parked in one place or there's power lines somewhere where you don't want it, because you can walk in and erase them in an afternoon. And a lot of filmmakers are like, yeah, well, see, you're not getting your image that you're supposed to be getting. But my opinion is, you're able to get the image you dream of. It's in the director's head. And so what if you have to color out a power line? It doesn't make a difference. Nobody knows. You see the performance and you see the framing that the director wants to create. And when you get those two things, that's when Francis Ford Coppola lives. You know? Nobody does the kind of imagery that he does. Nobody. And if he's got to paint out a pickup truck that's parked in the background, let him paint out a pickup truck. Because the rest is so good, you can't complain. I don't know. That's my opinion. I think CGI is really improving film and helping film in many ways.
Yeah, if when it's good and done well, and if it needs to be done, because sometimes it might be a little silly, but it has improved. So.
Well, that's the thing too. Anything we're talking about here, it's got to be good. You have to do it well. You know what I mean? If you don't do it well, then the whole conversation is moot. You talk about an actor, um, you expect a certain minimal level of professionalism from an actor, and if it's not there, then what does it really matter? It's the same thing with a director. You expect the director to be able to put together a seamless film, and if they can't do that, are they really directing? Now, a director has the same problems that an actor has. There's always things trying to get in their way to stop them. And that's the thing. That's one of the reasons I don't really. A lot of people complain about film. Oh, this film is horrible. That film isn't. I think any film that gets finished is a good film. It is.
Ooh. Okay, I think he got cut out there. I don't know what happened. Looks like a little technical difficulty. Let me see. He'll probably be back in a minute here. Yeah, I know, Mr. Bones. Damn, right when he was talking. Uh, let's see. I was trying to disconnect it. I just messaged him and he's trying to reconnect, link back up. Gosh, I hate when that happens, but oh well. What can you do? Yeah, it went off there, so he should be back in just a minute. Okay, here we go.
Are we back?
Yep, technical
Sorry
issues.
about that. Yeah, well, I'm gonna. Come on now, everything stopped.
There we go.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Somebody actually called and it turned the whole thing off because I'm using my phone. Maybe I shouldn't use my phone. I've never had that happen before.
Oh, you're using your phone. I mean, that's not a problem. There's been other people who've used it, but yeah, I didn't know it would disconnect it there.
Yeah, it was just somebody called. I pressed no, and then everything went black.
It's like, no, I don't want it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what you were saying. If you were in the middle of something when it went out, or
I don't know. I'm just babbling anyway. I doubt I'm making any sense.
oh,
That's
welcome
okay.
back.
I don't
Was it?
care anymore.
I don't care. It's just fun to ramble. Whatever. It's all good.
Exactly. As
Well,
long as I'm entertaining myself, I'm happy.
it's like, yeah, that's all.
Sometimes you just got to keep yourself company. That's what I've learned in life.
Just talk to myself.
What's that?
Just talk to myself and answer myself. But yeah,
Exactly. You know, I don't have to argue with me. I always agree.
Exactly. You always agree. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
What do you think about that hot dog? Hal? It's kind of crappy, man. That bun was hard. I agree.
How dare
My
you?
bun was hard too.
Yep.
That kind of stuff.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Uh,
Also, too, I'm pretty much the only person that makes sense to.
Whatever. It's all good. It's like we're both actors. We just ramble. It's part of being an actor, just having fun, and it's improv.
Exactly,
And life is improv, pretty much.
Sometimes you just want noise. That's what I'm one of those people that I wake up in the morning. First thing I do is turn on a television, like the first thing. And my wife used to always, why do you do that? Because I need the noise. I just want noise. Why? Because I don't want to hear what's in here. All right, let me just get something to filter it all out. And that's why you got to wake up every morning, honey. All right, that's a little too far right there.
Was I gonna say sometimes like I might just go to sleep and just have some horror movie playing. It's like what? It's like the screams help me sleep.
That's right, don't they? Come on, man. You know you're not alone when someone's screaming at you. That's how you know they love you.
What's weird, I don't know if it's happened to anyone else in the chat or you yourself, like if you're watching a movie and like while you fall asleep watching it, like you still hear it and you dream about the movie or dream you're watching it. It's like weird.
Yeah.
Like you think you're watching it and you dream that.
Well,
like,
I'll do that all the time anyway, I mean, I'll see a film and it'll attach to me somehow, I'll love it. And so I'll dream about it at night on purpose. I'll just go to bed thinking about it until it just carries through the dream, And that's always a lot of fun. Because a lot of times you don't want to leave something, You see something that really affects you and you just don't want to leave it for a while. So that's kind of how I discovered what art was. Art is just something that affects you somehow, no matter how briefly, right? And I used to do this thing. There was a movie theater near my house. And I discovered I could go in and see matinees for like 35 cents. And I went there so often, they just started letting me in for free. And they had two theaters. I'd go in one, watch the two movies, go in the other, watch the two movies, and I just flip back and forth. And I'd stay there until they stopped running movies, which was usually about 12:30 at night. And I would walk home. It was only a block. And I walked behind this market. And some nights I just couldn't go home. I would just sit on the loading dock, not wanting to leave that film. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's when I discovered what art is. Art makes you stop and consider. And some nights I would sit on that loading dock for hours. Some nights I'd just walk straight home. And that was the difference. And so I've always tried to achieve that in what I do, to get somebody to just stop and look for a moment, That's kind of my goal.
Kind of like
I'm a horrible interviewer. I'm way too serious about shit.
No, you're fine.
I'm so serious about all this stuff, but this stuff really it's
interesting.
Life. It's what I have.
Yeah.
I don't have people. I don't have a lot of things. I have this. This is what I love.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I don't mind. It's interesting. You got some good stuff to say. It's
well, good. I'm glad.
So yeah. It's kind of funny. Well, not funny. Kind of ironic. I mean, there's a couple other people who are like, "Yeah, I'm not a good interview." It's like, "Yeah, you are. It's fun. We're just being ourselves." Some of it's questions, some of it's just whatever comes up. That's what I like. I just go with the flow of things.
Well, that's good. You probably got more experience with this than me. So. Isn't this 177 for you? Is that what I saw?
177 or 178, one of the two.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you've done a few.
yeah, a couple. I mean, I don't have a guest every time, but I mean, I've had lots of guests out of it though. But sometimes I'll do like theme shows, certain movies
Yeah.
or categories or whatever, just whatever we want to talk about.
Wow, you think you'd be better at this by now?
So I know what's wrong with me. I'm horrible.
No, actually, you're really good because this is like, it's very comfortable. You know what I mean? It's just a conversation. It's perfect.
Yeah. That's what I try to do, and that's
I thought
what I
I'd
try
take
to
the shot when I had it.
try to be. Yeah, no, that was funny. Thank you. Oh, but I got to. You know what? I got to. Progress more. I don't know what's wrong with me. You'd think it's my first show. So welcome, our first guest.
Start
everybody.
working on your list. I've got 3 pages now. What's wrong with me?
What's that?
Make
Now?
a list. I don't know what you do with it, but I made the list.
Make a list and then burn it.
There
like
you go.
Like what is that? There's like that saying or something people do, or I've seen in a movie
Yeah,
where like
you write it down and burn it. Give it to
want something to happen
God,
or whatever,
right? Yeah.
and then burn it, or yeah. So,
Whoa, we almost lost you.
Huh?
We almost lost you there.
Oh no!
It looked like you were falling backwards in your chair for a second.
Oh no! Like it sinks into the bones.
Holy
it's funny.
shit!
Like I can like fade out.
Right there. That's a multi-purpose chair. Wait.
It's like what was that one episode of The Simpsons, or either the meme where he's in the bushes and he like backs up and disappears through the bushes?
Why? Oh, okay, I get it now. It took me a minute because I can't really see. It's such a small image that I've got here.
No, how's that?
No, I was like, "What the hell are you doing? You're like disappearing." Okay.
It's funny. That background is what I got from StreamYard. I was looking at different ones. I'm like, I like the skeletons. It's funny.
Skeleton's cool. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But if you lean back far enough, you just go away.
Yeah, it vanishes. I'm the Invisible Man, or no, I'm oh my gosh, what was the Invisible dude from The Boys? It was who they killed him in the second episode of the first season.
Yeah, but I don't remember.
I can't believe I can't remember his name. And it's such a simple name too.
You need that guy that knows everything or looks it up for you.
Yeah, Steven. What's the Invisible dude?
Steven, let's go. You're dropping the ball, Steve. Let's go. Who's the invisible guy?
But what it was though, like how he was talking about how the light reflects him, but he would have to be naked to be invisible, otherwise you see his clothes.
I remember that. I don't remember who it was though.
And it's such a simple name too. It's such a simple name too.
Killed that quick?
He was only in like a couple episodes because that was when Huey first got into with Butcher and all that, and they had him.
I'm thinking there's more because I just started in season 1 again. That's why. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So. Yeah. All right. Well, that would be the best superpower to have.
To be invisible. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Be invisible. That'd be the greatest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the greatest thing ever.
No, actually, though, that would be that was the character's name. Oh, Translucent. That's right, Translucent. Thank you, Steven.
That's a crappy name.
Translucent.
Thank you, Steven.
The Deep. you ever see those on some clips on YouTube? It's called Deep Thoughts from the Deep, and he says like all these.
I haven't seen that. I bet that's great.
I'll have to find it and I'll send you the link to watch it. But he says like these really silly sayings, but he's like, why do you think it's like it's called Deep Thoughts from the Deep.
I used to love Deep Thoughts by Jack Handey.
Oh, that's probably why they were making fun of it. I bet.
Oh God, they were hilarious.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Deep is great.
We got Translucent sorted out. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Now, actually, though. Invisibility and stuff would be like the best power you're saying, but actually there's a way to have that power and many more. Peter from Heroes, like how he could have everybody's ability by
he would suck up their powers. Yeah.
And he didn't have to do it the brain way like Sylar. He just
I think if you got invisibility, you don't need the others. There
He
you
had
go.
invisibility. He did have invisibility though, but
Yeah,
yeah.
if you have invisibility, you don't need many other powers. I mean, you can do anything you want. You
Yeah.
got the Midas touch if you can, go invisible.
Yeah. But his power was like his skin was so thick, so they had to kill him with the with the bomb inside, like a turtle.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh shit, I forgot about that. That was disgusting.
Yeah.
That was so nasty. Yeah, that's a strange show, man. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
What other
Uh,
shows you've been watching recently besides The Boys?
I'm big on Evil. I like Evil a lot.
I'm on the last season there. I only watched of the last season, like the first couple episodes. I got to watch the rest of them. But I think probably the show will probably end before I go back and watch it, which I kind of
Yeah,
like.
there's only 4 more weeks.
Okay.
So I'm probably just gonna hold back for a month and then binge them.
That's what I like to do because you watch stuff and then you got to wait so long for the next. It's
Yeah,
like I just like watching my way
but I
through
mean
it.
that's the way it used to be. Growing up, that's the way it was for us.
Oh, yeah.
You watched it and then you waited till next Wednesday and you watched it again. But they also did a lot more episodes, so it went farther in the year.
Yeah.
Drama would have 30 or more episodes. Comedies would have 24 episodes or so, and then they'd
Well,
rerun
I
them
think
and you'd watch it again.
I think the first season of Bewitched had like 30 something episodes or
Yeah, they
something.
used to have a lot more episodes, and you got paid better. You made more money. But now we make residuals, so which is good if it's a good show. But
Yeah.
if it's a show that nobody wants to rerun, then you're kind of out of luck.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, they used to, you know, it's funny because actors from the '60s they'll complain about how they have no residuals. And it's like, yeah, but you made like 10 or 12 times the money that we make. It's like you made so much money. You had that serious fu money. You could just sit on your ass for the rest of your life if you weren't insane. But that's what happens when people get rich, right?
Yeah. And then they have like some of the BBC shows. They only had like 8 episodes or something, like certain series, like
Yeah. Well,
being human and
I think the
um,
last episode of the last season of Luther, they only did 2 episodes because he
yeah,
was so busy with film. He just wouldn't come back, and they're like, "Please come do something."
yeah, I
But
think they
yeah,
might
those
even have
guys.
had 6 episodes, even like
What's that?
I think it might even been like 6 episodes for the first season of
For which?
being human. I think where
I
the
love
ghost.
Being Human, man. That
Oh,
was a
that
good show. I like the American version too. I like both versions.
yeah. I like
Both use
the
a great concept.
yeah. I mean, they're both great, but I like the original one better. But they're both good though.
Usually, the original anything's a little better,
Yeah.
because it's kind of a fresher idea at that point,
Hmm.
so it just feels fresher.
Yeah. They
But
did also Ghost is was also originally a British show too. The
was it
one.
really?
Yep. I,
I didn't know
yeah.
that.
I watched some of that one. I was like, at first I didn't know that, but like when I was looking up Ghosts to like watch stuff, like that was one of the options that popped up, and I'm like, oh, there's a British version. That's cool. Okay.
Oh, was it good?
What I watched of it, I didn't finish it, but yeah, it was good
Oh,
though. I mean,
very cool.
so
I
they
like
like
it.
have the similar ones. I
You're
think
talking
who
about
was
the film Ghost, right?
no, that TV show where she takes over that. She had a relative that died, and there's ghosts that live there, and she had an accident. She can see him. Trevor, he doesn't wear pants, and then there's a
Oh,
Viking.
Ghost. Oh, yeah, yeah, the new show. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, then there's a Viking and all that.
I
And,
actually, I actually, I only watched like the pilot of that. I haven't
uh,
watched any of the others. I thought it was hilarious. I just
yeah.
haven't caught on to it. So I guess
Oh
I have
yeah,
to
it got really
listen
good.
to it.
I'm
It's
looking
like
forward to next season. Yeah.
there are a few seasons into it already now, right?
Yeah, they're going to be coming
Yeah.
on. It is coming back. I know that, and I think it's the 4th season that they're going to start back up. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Very cool. I'll have to check
it,
those out.
yeah, it got interesting. Some stuff that went on, some of their backstories, and yeah, the humor and like yeah. Again, I don't really like spoiling stuff for people who haven't seen it, but it gets funnier and crazier.
Yeah. Very cool.
Let's see. Anyone else say anything? Steven told us the character's name. All right. I think we're all caught up in the chat there. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you, which I forgot to bring up earlier, but also you did 21 Jump Street, character named
Yeah.
Boyd, I believe it was. I didn't watch it. I haven't seen it yet. I'll track it down. But I guess, did you have scenes with Johnny Depp, or were you like different
Yeah,
character
actually,
people? Or?
yeah, I did. Um, that was one when you actually asked me stuff that I liked that I did. That was one of them. There's actually I did. I think I did okay in that one. But interestingly enough, Alvin from Night of the Demons was also in
Okay.
that. Alvin Alexis. I showed up and I don't know. I guess I saw him in the hotel. I was like, "Dude, what are you doing here?" He's like, "I'm doing 21 Jump Street." I was like, "So am I." And we were both in the same episode. But yeah, there's a funny story about Johnny Depp. Was we were shooting at this high school in Canada that was empty. But I don't know, because Johnny Depp was there. There must have been 200 girls standing in the parking lot, and they were behind a little police tape, And because I was talking to Johnny, all of a sudden I was cool too. And so these girls were all, and twittery and nice and happy. And then I shot the scene where I got in a fight with Johnny and beat him up. And I walked back past that pile of 200 women, and I thought they were going to kill me. I swear to God, they were scary. I don't care how tough you think you are. 215-year-olds will murder you. I refused to go by them again. I got to my trailer, and that was it. I was like, I'm not leaving without security. So we actually I had somebody with me, and we would walk all the way around the parking lot back to the set instead of crossing in front of them again, because they were vicious. It was all good when I was walking out there glad handing him on the way back when he had this fake black eye. I was like, it's not even real. Stop it, people.
It called
hilarious.
Acting.
But I mean, I was legit scared. I've never experienced that before. And then you think about, performers that have to go through that all the time, where they love them and they still mob them, and it's still dangerous. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew a guy that used to be in a band. This was back in the '60s when they would arrange for these groups of girls to attack bands, right? As publicity. And he's like, every time we walked out of a theater, by the time we got to the car, our shirts were tore off and we were just scratched and bloody, because no matter how nice they're trying to be, they got fingernails and claws and they're just tearing at you. And I was like, well, that's a rough dollar, I guess, but I don't think you're really complaining.
How was it when people first started recognizing you and everything? I know you said some of it was fake or publicity for it, but like ones that weren't, what was your first reaction to the notoriety? No, I can talk.
I always thought it was weird. I never believed it. I always thought that somebody was, having a laugh at me. I just I never. Oh, you're Hal. You did this. Yeah, leave me alone. I never trusted it. It took me a long time to realize that there was some people out there that actually enjoyed some of the stuff I've done. The only benefit I really got from it that way was there was a Carl's Jr. by my house, and I would always get free French fries or burgers slipped in my bag because they were horror fans. So if I went through at night to get something to eat, I always there'd be an extra burger in there or something. But that was my that's the way I cashed in. Free Carl's Jr.
And why not?
Yeah, generally, I never quite believed it, and I still don't, to an extent. I'm just getting, I accept it because you want to be polite to people, but it's just, you're just a guy going to work, And
yeah.
I'm lucky that a couple of the things I've done has, people really attached to, that they've enjoyed it, So I'm grateful, but I still find it a little bit uncomfortable. But it's pretty cool sometimes.
Yeah, because I know there's good stories and bad stories of people recognizing you, and I mean sometimes it's a good thing, and then sometimes it could be kind of weird. So yeah, I guess it all depends.
It can be weird. I mean, it can be weird, but most of the people that I've met that have been fans have been just great. They've been really nice. And like I said earlier, you don't get treated this good at home. There's
Yep.
nobody in your house that walks up to you and go, "I think you're fucking awesome." Nobody.
You're the
It just
coolest. I
doesn't
love
happen.
it.
They're
Yeah.
like, "I thought you were bringing home some bread and milk. What's wrong with you?"
Oh, I'm sorry.
But yeah, no, it's pretty cool in many ways. But again, it's a little uncomfortable when you're not. I don't know. Not, it's just not my mindset. And so sometimes it's a little uncomfortable. But I've never had anybody that was too freaky. I had somebody force some drugs on me once, but and that I thought was weird. It was like
Mm.
no matter how I said no, she just kept shoving it back into my pocket.
Uh,
And it was some weird drug. It wasn't even like a real drug. It was like something weird. And when I
hmm.
got home, I looked it up, and it was one of those things that it kills you. It was like, yeah, you're gonna enjoy it until it gives you a heart attack. So
It's so good. It just lasts one time.
yeah, exactly. So I never I never bothered with it, but I wasn't gonna bother with it anyway. But,
Right.
the last thing I'm gonna do is eat something somebody shoves into my pocket.
Yeah, you don't even know
It's
what it
like,
is. It could just even be poison for all you know. I mean, shit.
exactly. Well, that's like food in the mail. You used to get sent a lot of stuff in the mail, and people would send brownies or cookies or something like that they made. And it's like, it's really nice of you, but this is the last thing I'm putting in my mouth.
Yeah,
I
you
have
never
no
know.
idea. You could have bleach and bodily fluids or anything in there. I'm not touching it. Thanks.
Yeah,
I don't
there.
even use coffee makers in hotel rooms. So
Oh wow.
I'm a,
Bring
I'm a
your own,
little.
right?
I do actually. I bring a little immersion heater that I can make coffee with. But no, I don't touch those things. It's like I think I'm a little paranoid about germs. I
Yeah.
guess I don't know. But no, but people are cool. People are very cool. They're usually not too strange. What'll happen though at the conventions is because everybody at night parties,
Yeah.
so it'll start to get a little different then. It
Yeah.
starts to change up real hard then. But it's funny because I used to never experience it because at the end of the convention day, I would just go back to the hotel room and I would call my wife and I would chat with her about what was going on. And I guess most people know already, but she passed away 4 years ago. And so the last few conventions, I've tried to socialize.
Yeah.
And yeah, it gets different at night.
Oh yeah.
In the daytime, it's one thing, but that because you go.
Oh, I've
That's
been going since I was 14 to conventions, so yeah,
yeah.
I know. So
Wow, that's an education at 14 because that shit switches up at night, man. It's a whole different party.
well, I didn't really probably until I don't know, hanging out with them more 17 to 18 or whatever. But I
Yeah,
mean, yeah. um,
it's it's still a lot of fun though.
Oh yeah, I've been fortunate enough to like I've worked conventions as a PA for different actors and or
Yeah,
wherever they needed me and whatever. So I met like a lot of people through that way and promoters, and they've got to know me throughout the years. Like when
yeah,
Vulcan was still around, Joe Motes and Fernando used to run. They started out doing Star Trek. That's why it was called Vulcan. I guess they did like cruises and a bunch of Star Trek. Then
yeah,
they did Buffy the Vampire Slayer and a bunch of other shows, and but I had ended up like getting to know them, and then I started working for them first, and just throughout the years, other conventions, and lucky enough, and so I've hung out with like a lot of people from Buffy and Days of the Dead. Probably one of my favorite nights. Kane Hodder, Tony Todd, Felissa Rose. We were up to like 3, 4 in the morning, like about a group
man.
of us.
That's the crowd right there.
Yeah.
Kane, Tony, and Felissa. They're everywhere. Right?
Oh my
You
god!
see them
Well,
wherever you go.
Especially Felissa, she's like every single convention every week.
Yeah,
I'm like, how does she have
she's
how
she's
does she have a
very
personal
popular.
life?
And
Yeah.
Tony Todd is absolutely hysterical.
Oh
He's
yeah.
one of the wildest people you're ever going to meet.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
Kane all that well. I've been to a few shows with him, but I don't really know him.
Yeah. He actually had introduced me to Felissa, so that was pretty cool. So
Yeah,
that was a fun experience.
yeah, she's
And
pretty awesome. I like her.
Yeah, Angus Scrim from Phantasm, the tall man, he was there with us too at first,
Mhm.
but he ended up going to bed like at 7:30. It was funny, but we were like, okay, but
Well, sometimes that's the better part of Valor is just dip out before it gets too deep for you. You know.
yeah. Uh, but it was fun though, and I mean, Kane is funny. There was the last, I think it was at Spooky Empire. I saw him last, and I don't know, I didn't see the woman, but she had like these little tiny like glitter dicks that were all over the place, and I saw Kane had his elbow sitting on it on the counter, and he was talking. I go, it's like he knows me, so I was like, excuse me, Kane, you know, your elbow deep in some dicks. And he looks at me and goes, "You're welcome." I'm like, oh my, it's just it's sense of humor.
That's
I mean,
pretty good.
it's so much fun, like getting to know these people and work with them. And
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you speak people. I mean, I mean, yeah, I'm a fan too, but it's also cool just on a base to just hang out, have a good time, and
Yeah, on a personal level. Yeah.
yeah. So, let's see. Let's see. We're up to an hour and 20 minutes. Of course, you're welcome to stay on longer. I have one last question. You can either stay or do you want to head
All
out?
right,
It's
let's do one more.
okay. All right. What's something that fans may not know about you, whether it's stuff you're interested in or talent or anything that you'd like to share?
Jeez Louise, you should have sent these before. What's something that I would, that's funny because that's a question I ask people a lot.
Mhm.
I always ask people, what's the one thing about you that nobody knows, but everybody should know, right?
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to find the answer to that. And again, it's an overly sincere answer because I guess I'm an overly sincere kind of guy. But it's that I live my life by an outdated code. I believe when you give your word, you keep your word. And when there are people that are weaker around you, you lift them up. And people that need to be defended, you defend. You know, when it's time to be kind, you be kind. When it's time to fight, you you kill. Right? That's my code. That's the way I live my life. And I don't always live up to it, but I always try. I always try to treat people with kindness and decency. And, sometimes I'm a little too formal. Sometimes I'm a little too, like I said, sincere. Um, but then I switch it up on you, and I'm a total jackass for 5 minutes. And but I think that's like the core of me, and most people don't realize it because I don't communicate in that way a lot. I just it's just who I am, and I do what I do. But yeah, so I think that's really the only thing I can tell people. And that, and I'm a shitty guitar player, right? I'm just like absolutely horrible, and I love it. I don't care. But yeah, that's about it. My life has always been my life is pretty obvious. It's been wrapped around my work. That's what I love, and I will keep making product until the day I die. People ask me about retiring. Like when are you going to retire? I'm not ever. No. Why would I quit the only thing I like? You know what I mean? There's like
Right.
nothing else I really care about. Um, so yeah, I'm never gonna quit. I'm gonna keep fighting for it, no matter what. I took some time off the last few years, but I'm back now. I'm working again, so it's gonna be good.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It was a good time, and you were a good interview. Don't think otherwise. It was great talking to you, and yeah. So have a good night.
Awesome. Well, thank you. You're very kind, and I appreciate you having me here,
All right, you're welcome. And if anything else comes up, you're always welcome back. So,
man. Fantastic. I'll keep that in mind.
all right, have a good night. Bye.
You're gonna have to turn this off because I have no idea how.
Okay, that's okay. Boom. That's funny. All right, and that's our show, everybody. So next week got not. Hopefully, I'm saying her name right. Natiana Ross, who was in the Secret World of Alex Mack. It was Robin. She was in Babysitter's Club, a bunch of other TV shows. So check it out next week. Bye.